highlighting some sham marriages that do take place in many Muslim cultures, whether it is the secret plural marriages, the deceptive or deceitful marriage of convenience which takes place, some msiyar, secret msiyar marriages behind the first wife's back. A lot of and this does take place, especially of course in Muslim communities, where a number of Muslims unfortunately will involve themselves in certain practices where they might fly to a different country and have relations with a woman. Sometimes she's a sex worker or a prostitute, or a woman who thinks that she's going to be in a long-term marriage, but the whole idea is to have a nikah, a marriage contract, to have a short-term halal sex, halal relationship, and then divorce her shortly after. And this is something that I'm well aware of and familiar with from my time studying in Egypt as well as in the UK. I know it happens in other parts of the world like Morocco, Indonesia, the US, Malaysia, Egypt, many countries, unfortunately, where a lot of people are not aware of what Islam actually says about the ethics and the legality of marital relationships, and people think that they can like trick Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is obviously clearly impossible, where they're just deceiving themselves with these sham marriages. And again, I think for the brothers themselves who are doing this, I don't see why they're just not upfront. I mean, if they want to have a relationship, whether they can't afford to get married again, obviously we know we're supposed to remain chaste, but the reality is a number of brothers are not going to remain chaste, whether they're married or unmarried. But to deceive people and to make it out that this is an Islamic practice when really and truly you just want to have sex, this is again, it's really deplorable, because it's a misrepresentation of the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him. It's a misrepresentation of Islam, when in reality a lot of brothers, they just want to have sex without responsibility or intimacy without commitment. So again, and this is not me speaking like I'm some sort of saint or I've not had relations outside of marriage, because that's clearly not the case. But it's the deception which I've never understood why or how Muslims, especially so-called practicing Muslims, feel that this is okay to do, because some scholars have said that it's technically valid to have a relationship with a woman where you're deceiving her or you're deceiving your wife, and you think because you've ticked some conditions that makes the marriage technically valid, even though it's wholly unethical, immoral, and something that even non-Muslims wouldn't do. But you have people who are outwardly very religious, who've got the knowledge. Some of them are public speakers, some of them are imams, some of them are sheikhs, who are involving themselves in these types of marital arrangements, or they're facilitating these types of marital arrangements. And people wonder why Islam as a religion is not really respected by a number of people, because again, it's the deceit that's involved. If people are just, hooking up and having relationships and they're honest, again, that's between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that happens. But to use the religion to manipulate, abuse and deceive not only the woman that you might be in a relationship with, but also your current wife who's unaware of this, and you think that this is halal, this is allowed because Islam permits a man to take up to 4 wives. But the way many people, the way many brothers, the way many men are doing it is just, it's clearly unethical, immoral, and it's haram. But again, people play with the religion when they're really deceiving themselves and not deceiving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just because some scholars have said that technically it's a valid marriage, even though many of those scholars will say that it's still unethical, immoral, and one shouldn't do it. So again, it's just to I can't remember what I was getting to now, but anyway, just wanted to share some thoughts on that, and I'll try and make a couple more videos, because some people have messaged me and asked me why don't I speak more about this topic, which I'll try and do in addition to some of my posts on social media. And I do cover this on my institute, Eratology Institute, but it's important that one empowers themselves with knowledge, and then you can make informed decisions, because again, knowledge will empower you and also help you make more informed decisions, inshallah, and also to develop critical thinking, because I think that's extremely important, because Islam is a religion, the Quran is a book that was revealed for people of intellect, people of insight, people who reflect and contemplate, again, not only the letter of the law, but also the spirit of the law.